Sterring, picture important. Is Sterring, they're like Sterring.
Hey, I'm Kunta.
And I'm Peta.
Welcome to Black Sterring Radio, a podcast where we dissect TV shows, films, music, and culture
To ask how black women are represented and seen on screen. Welcome back.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
Welcome back to the Black Sterring
Yes.
Radio. We're back, guys. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it feels like it's been forever. You
it
know,
has
these
been forever.
cycles of life.
In some ways, it has.
You know,
been
you
forever.
start and you end, and then you start and then you end again. But we're back. Hey,
Very much.
Peta.
Hi, Kunta.
How are
How's it?
you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, we're back here.
Mm-hmm.
In 2025.
Yes.
Thrive. I'm saying that to everyone. I'm
saying
annoying
2020
'cause I'm
thrive.
like,
But you know
thrive!
what? I'm into speaking it into existence.
Absolutely. That's where
I
we
back
have to be,
it.
guys. The
Let's-
times are rough. We need
Although,
to just
remember,
be...
we said 20 plenty and then dun, dun,
Oh, yeah,
dun.
20 plenty.
Yo,
Oh,
and then we had a
wow.
panda queso, panorama.
Hmm.
Panoramic.
Do you think
Panasonic.
do you think the pandemic was our fault?
No.
It was our
I mean, it's
fault
not
on
our
some-
fault. Also, you know.
Yeah.
It
Gosh,
did
who
feel.
caused 2020,
I mean, a lot
guys?
of things did feel like the world had enough.
Yeah, absolutely. That was
But
such
it
a-
honestly feels like a fever dream.
Yeah, that
It
was
really
such.
does. It
And
feels like a fever dream.
I definitely know for sure that we are still feeling the effects. It's like a
100%. Even like psychologically,
Yeah.
there's like a weird
Absolutely,
because it feels like a blur. Specifically, 2020, 2021, 2022. It feels like a long blur. I can't differentiate what happened in what year because it all just feels like
yeah, there is that. Time is doing a thing.
almost like the
hey?
pandemic time warp.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
the
the
vortex.
babies, the pandemic babies. I feel like psychologists are going to have a field day in like the next 10, 20
Yeah,
years writing
hey?
about pandemic babies. Because they were raised inside in a way that a lot of us were
Yeah,
not.
The
Like
first
we were
year
literally in
also.
quarantine and lockdown and like it
Yeah.
wasn't the raise a village. It was like, I'm raising this baby in the house and that's kind of it.
Yeah, and I know a lot
Yeah.
of parents. Gosh, wow, times were dark, eh? And people were having to raise their children.
Yeah. And
You
getting
know,
to see that
yeah, like
sometimes your kid
parenting
is kind of the worst.
Or just like
And it's
parenting,
not the teachers.
hey?
Like it's because I think a lot of bad behavior in some cases was outsourced that like, no, it's the teacher's fault, it's at school, but like there was a lot of uproar in like, okay, you now have to partly homeschool your kid.
Yeah, you have
There
to
was an
parent,
uptick
bro.
in divorce, babes, divorce
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting.
But it's not
time.
going to be like that this year. This
Oh,
is the
no.
point of Thrive. This is
No.
the point of Thrive. You know,
Yeah,
it
I mean, we
already
hope.
is. It already is like a bit weird right now.
I know
Hey,
there are a lot of things
March.
that are
We're
weird.
in February right now. It is
Yeah,
the 20th
like
of February
6, 7.
today.
yeah. But also the news has been absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
news I don't watch anymore. I don't believe in the news. Fuck the news. I don't care about the news. I don't care about the media cycle. It's all lies. I am with the conspiracy theories on the corners of WhatsApp there.
Kunta.
I am right there. I don't believe in the news, bruh. That's the reason we are
This
so
might be-
distraught and like in depression right now. The news, the media.
This might be one of the wildest things you ever. I mean, there is an argument.
Give me
to
a
be
job,
made,
but
but like, okay. Before we get sidetracked, let's get into
Absolutely.
content of the
let's
week.
do that. Let's do that. Hey, what do you have? up
Okay,
your sleeve?
I'm like having a brain fart, but I just watched. My content is, ladies and gentlemen, 50 years of Saturday Night Live music.
Oh wow!
So
music.
Questlove just did a documentary.
Okay.
So Saturday Night Live is having its 50th anniversary this year. Questlove just did a documentary on the history of the music and live performances on Saturday Night Live.
Oh,
It's like
wow.
exceptionally good, like really well directed. They have
Absolutely.
everyone from old cast members, from the Eddie Murphys to the Andy Sambergs who did the Lonely Island SNL short skits, to like even artists who were on, everyone from like Dua Lipa to Justin Timberlake to like just all the archival
Mm.
footage and like
Oh.
just the history of the music of the show and how it really spoke to what was happening in America at the time. So 85? What was 50 years ago? In my head, the 90s were like 10
70s?
years ago.
The 80s, the 70s, the
Yeah.
70s. It feels like
Whenever
the
50 years.
80s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
my gosh.
70s.
Are people
yes.
who were born in the 80s 50? No, I think it's the 70s.
It
Yeah.
might be the 70s.
Might be the late 70s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 1975.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
SNL was very avant-garde. It felt very revolutionary. And they had like a lot of performance. It still is in a lot of
Yeah, in a
respects. But it
sense,
was
yeah.
so crazy to see like the first rappers on SNL and the first like they would have jazz artists on SNL and like
SNL is such
all
good
of
stuff.
these different people, everyone
skits,
from
like-
Outkast to Kendrick to Kanye
Yeah.
changing the set to like Justin Timberlake, Beyonce, Destiny's Child, NSYNC, and like yeah. So it was just really cool to see, I suppose, the evolution of music, but also just like as someone who really religiously watched SNL,
Yeah.
it was really cool. It was a cool documentary, and I know that in the past few weeks they also had the 50th anniversary episode, which is like a few hours long, and they brought back a lot of old cast
Yeah.
members.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't realize how many people started on SNL. Like, I didn't know Eddie Murphy was on
Yeah.
SNL. I didn't know like Damon Wayans Jr. was on SNL. I didn't know
Really?
like
Yeah.
yeah, so many people started there because I kind of started watching from the Tina Fey, Amy Poehler.
Yes, because I'm thinking about Tina
Jimmy
Fey
Fallon,
and,
like that, Seth Meyers, like all of those
what's
people.
his name that produced her show? No, that he's like the showrunner for a lot of the comic. What's his name, man? Yeah,
Is that
old
Fred
man.
Armisen?
No,
No, it's
not
not.
Fred Armisen. I love
It's-
Fred Armisen. I adore that man. I adore him so much.
Yeah, also
If
everyone is just like a
if
bunch
I-
of weirdos. It's
Yo, hey, this is why I love SNL because comedy
Yeah.
for me is
yeah,
the cream of the crop. I love
Yes.
comedy so much,
but
but satire as well, like smart
Yes,
comedy, you
and
know,
they were
that's what
talking about
SNL does.
the close relationship between
skits.
comedy and music, and
Yeah.
how the comedic timing is very similar to the timing you need in music, which was also
Absolutely,
very
it is,
interesting.
It is absolutely.
Yeah, it was cool.
yeah.
But that's my content of the week.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. My
What's yours?
content is Poppy Sibiya, guys. Have you seen the Poppy show
Okay.
on social media?
I have.
Hectic. I adore her. She's like, and she's got this whole model with her. So the Poppy show, if you guys haven't
Yes,
seen
explain
it,
for people who don't know.
or be Poppy, I'm not sure. So she's this girl who's just really just traveling South Africa, but like on a real budget and
Yeah.
traveling like via taxi, via like she's like having the travel experience of any middle class to low class or whatever Black South
Yeah.
African. Like it is rough. The things
Yeah.
like she goes to taxi hostels, and she's just recently for the month of love, yeah.
Oh, I saw that.
She's just recently got herself a man. You
Yeah.
have to go watch the Poppy
No,
show.
I'm
And I really
absolutely
love
obsessed.
about her model that she has like episodes on WhatsApp, and then you can like
Yes,
subscribe.
and you can tap
And she's
in.
actually like making some money
Yeah.
off of this, doing this really cool experiment. And I'm just loving the fact that she's like, gosh, Poppy is so like she's witty, she's smart, but she's also like relatable. She's
Yes.
relatable. She's the star of
Yeah.
who we usually talk about.
No,
like,
100%.
and I feel like she deserves her own doll to
I-
put on the show. She really
No,
is
100%.
just like
So someone on Twitter was saying she's actually an anthropologist, which I felt like
makes
was so
sense,
perfect.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
But I
makes
recently
sense.
saw a video of her showing the experience of what it's like to use public transport to get to campus because there
yes,
a lot of the
yes, I
strikes at
saw
UCT
that.
about housing, student housing and all of that. And
Oof.
like, because my first introduction was actually when she was in Congo and doing work
Oh
there.
yes.
Like about the genocide and the war and all the stuff that's happening there. So like really good anthropological work, sociological work, just
Archival
like
work as
digging
well.
in, and like then she was in Brazil in December. And
Yes, she was.
Yeah, like
And she
love Bobby.
doesn't go for the holiday. She
her.
doesn't go for the Instagram, the the
Yeah, it's
photoshopped
like,
experience. She really gives you like real content that you
Yeah.
wouldn't find anywhere.
100%.
You're not going to find that stuff anywhere. And I'm
No.
glad that she's got a nice model about it that she can actually like. No. The fact that she's in anthropology, she's actually really smart about
Yeah.
this. Like,
It's
go,
very
Poppy, go. I
interesting.
can't wait for the next
Very
episode.
interesting.
I'm always like,
and you feel like you're
jaw
with her.
on. I'm like, jaw on the
Yeah.
floor, girl.
Yeah.
And
No,
she
I love
looks,
her.
she looks at a lot of, you know, like there's this bravery about what she does. Cause I know a lot of like Black girls, yeah, you know, you want to move furthest away from just like sloughing it, like public transport, like, you know, the environments that she deals with are so like you don't want to find yourself there. They're so
Yeah.
opposite
It's not
of
always cute.
the what do you call, the aspirational.
100%.
She really is like right there with the NPCs. Is that what they call them these days? Like with just normal people, everyday people, everyday content. Like, and she storifies it. She brings us a narrative. Like, she's
Yeah.
really,
Really great point of view.
really great point of view. Really smart, Poppy. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. So we don't have a lot of time today. So we're going to
Yes.
jump
So we're
into
gonna
it. 17,
jump right
17 on the
into
clock.
it. So today
It's
we're talking
Valentine's
about,
month.
We're talking about Umjolo, okay?
Umjolo!
But not like our love lives, because y'all don't know us
No,
like that.
please.
Y'all know us, but you don't know us like that. So today we are talking about Umjolo, the anthology series, the 4-part anthology series on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yes, it is written by Tuli Zuma,
Yes.
who wrote On the Wife, and it is 4 parts. And
And
yeah, it's basically like different characters. So there are 2 main characters in each one. They seem to be in the same universe.
Yeah, absolutely. They are. They're
So they kind
friends,
of
they're
like jump
family,
into
they're
different
colleagues,
stories.
yeah.
So the first one you have Letu and Lucky.
Letu and Lucky, hey, shall we jump
Yeah,
right
let's
into
jump in.
that?
Let's go film by film, bar for bar.
Oh my
Let's go.
goodness.
Yeah, so he is basically...
Oh,
so she finds out that her man
it's
has given
really
her
great.
an STI. He's given her the clip. So,
but I mean, I love how
ugh.
yeah, for in the anthology, like I feel like that was a very strong start with Letu and Langa. Letu is so adorable, and they have this chemistry. They have chemistry, which this is a romance. This is really about Umjolo romance. So it's important for people to feel
Believe
romantic.
the love.
Yeah,
Okay,
we need
yes.
to believe the love,
Yeah.
and I believed it. I believed it.
And
I
then
really
she got
did.
the rug ripped under her and found out that he had been sleeping with
a
lot of people.
A lot of
not
people.
just her bestie, but a lot of
Yeah,
people.
Yeah.
And then they decide to open up their relationship, and he says he wants to try polyamory. And I mean, not him crying and throwing up when she starts seeing other people.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I had
and
mixed
how she
feelings
finds
about.
out is so weird because he's got a brother who's also that amazing actor who's usually what he is, like a really naughty guy, naughty old man.
Yeah.
And he's married to Langa's, is it Langa? Ne? Letu and Lucky. Lucky's brother is married to Mamfundisi, lovely woman.
Yeah,
but he is a serial cheater, you know, like he's a serial cheater. We meet him and you know, the wife finds panties in the laundry and does the whole thing. She goes mad. She kicks him out for 5 minutes, for exactly 5 minutes, and he's, you know, and he's right back inside. And I really want to talk about that, like that dynamic of
the cycle
like,
of it.
Yeah, the cycle of it.
Like he cheats, you shout, comes back, tail between his legs, he comes back,
you know,
repeat, yes.
And Lucky goes through and apologizes to Mamfundisi, the wife. I just call her Mamfundisi because she feels like she is a Mamfundisi. Goes to the wife, apologizes for his brother's bad behavior. But it's like Lucky is so good at apologizing. Eh? Lucky is so good at apologizing. And you know, an apology without, what do they say here?
Changed behavior.
Is manipulation.
It is a bit manipulative.
It's a lot. It's a complete manipulation. And that's what he does. And he acts like he's not that.
Yeah, exactly. So I do want to talk about that. Because he
Guys.
there's a level of like uzienza ngcono than his brother,
like he's not
when they're
the
doing
cheater.
kind of the same thing.
Exactly.
It's just the same thing. It's like cheating but in different font. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
So
she is
it's very, and like he's very egregious because to sleep with her best friend, and even the best friend, the things I can say about so many of the best friends in the series, those people are not
And
chommies for
what,
real.
what about
Because
that?
her
Hey?
friend,
What about
her
that,
friend,
guys?
you are in my ear, but you're like sleeping with him. Like,
Yeah.
what was that about?
And it's just so interesting, like in the beginning, how we meet them, and it looks like Lucky is, this like upstanding boyfriend or upstanding partner, and it's like this image, this image that this romantic, like what do they call it, like tall, dark, handsome
Mm.
kind of stock image of the decent guy, like the prince who's going to sweep me off my feet.
Mhm.
He really plays that role very well.
Mm.
Talking about, hey, your friend is not ain't shit, but she ain't shit. She ain't.
No, and
She
he's
is not
right.
shit.
But he's not shit
But
either.
he's not.
So
he's,
I'm
he's
like,
the most.
not you. Do you know what I
He's
mean?
the
And it's like,
most.
you're saying she's not shit, but you're sleeping with her also. So what's that about?
And can we talk about this?
Okay, we haven't talked about this.
It's happening. It's definitely happening.
So much bums. So much bums. Oh my goodness.
You know what?
Do you know what?
I didn't see bums. I saw sex.
Yeah.
I saw sex.
And like it gave me a jump scare. And
Yeah.
like I'm not a prude, right?
Mhm.
I wouldn't consider myself a prude.
Mhm.
But I felt like I was clutching my pearls because why are we having a sex montage sequence?
It's the thing
Like
today.
what's I was kind of like, what is the purpose
Yeah.
of this?
Yeah.
But I will say it was interesting that as the different because it's like a series of films.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it because it's not like feature film length with all of them, but it's also like
It's a
not
movie.
a series
They're
either.
pitched as
They all
movies,
like
right?
pitched as
Yeah.
movies, but part of the same universe or whatever.
Yeah.
There was progressively less and less nudity as it went along.
Mm.
But the first one, I was like, this is a lot.
Yeah,
That's
it really
a
was.
lot.
Hey, it really,
That's like we're pushing it, bruv. Like it's a lot. It was a lot for me.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily like we know that he's a whore. We know. I don't know. Like I don't know. Yeah, they kind of already illustrated the point.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm neither here nor there with the sex. It was there. It was definitely like giving a lot of sex. But I wonder if it was because it kind of brought to life the vision or the ideas that you have with somebody like that, with somebody who's like serial cheater, like, in reality, like you just imagine, what are you doing behind the scenes? So they kind of gave us that. They gave us what these people, like, he is in the toilet at his engagement. Like, guys, I'm shocked at how inhuman. I don't even want to judge, but I'm definitely judging. Like, are you human? Or am I a woman? Or like, I'm not sure, men. Help me.
Hold on. Hold on now. Hold on.
What's
Hold on.
happening?
The public bathroom thing. Also in the second one. With Andile and Zanele.
Yes.
The day ones. Their high school reunion. They've been best friends for 20 years.
Yeah.
Andile is married to Jess. Very stereotypical blonde white woman.
Yes.
Zanele is the best friend.
yes.
The kids
bestie,
love
the
her. The
bestie.
parents are calling her
Yes.
Makoti. It's that whole mess.
Yeah.
And then their high school reunion, they also have caught up in the moment, have sex in the bathroom.
Which happens.
And
yeah.
then, which happens.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then she
yeah.
ends up pregnant.
Fregos Megos.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the second episode, though.
Yeah,
like
let's
the
jump
besties,
to the second one. Yeah, the day
besties,
ones.
The besties, the day ones, the besties who are of the opposing gender. I personally am still yet to find the evidence.
Mhm.
The overwhelming statistical evidence
Of?
that men and women can actually be best friends.
Oh.
And it can start out that
And
way.
it's
and
very,
it can start out that
do you know
way.
what? This is so when Harry met Sally. Of that question, can men and women be friends?
Can they?
And still,
asking
that was
question,
like when Harry met Sally was
anthropologists,
1988,
sociologists?
89, and we are still asking the same question.
And you know, Zandile comes into their home as Auntie Zans,
Auntie
who the kids
Z.
love. You know,
The
I
kids
actually
love.
love
She's
the
teaching them
interracial. Yeah, she
Zulu.
is. You know, and I wonder if it was a choice though to have the marriage being interracial. I wonder
That was
because
a
the white
choice.
woman definitely felt like there was something. I mean, she was a bit of a flat character for me, even though they did try and give her some sort of vulnerability. She did
Yeah.
cry, but she just did feel like functional
Yeah.
to
100%
their
functional.
story.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree because there were things where I felt like how often they spoke Zulu in front of her. Like there were things that just felt awkward where it's like you guys are kind of excluding her and she's the wife.
the dad does not
even
see
calling
her.
Uzi Umakoti. Do you know what I
Umakoti,
mean? Which is
yes.
very, very cringe. Very, very cringe.
Parents
And
are
I mean, I
cringe.
do want to talk about the parents throughout all of the stories.
True.
Just
Yes,
because you
yes.
got a sense of like how much parenting and how much family affects love and relationships, which it 100% does.
It
and
100%.
attachment and like who we end up
Yes.
choosing and all of that. And you saw how the dad was very hard on Andile saying, wow, you haven't given me a son, hey, whatever. All of the children are useless and he hates his birthday party and hates this and whatever. And then in the third one, my beginning, my end, which I think the third one is the strongest, the one with Ozweli and Mai.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Really love that. Really
Yeah,
great
yeah,
chemistry.
yeah.
Really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
But even there, you have the one parent who the mom is kind of pushing her to marry this
Yeah,
guy
baby
who isn't
Clele, yeah.
great. But the dad had the suitcase
With
of money for
like,
escape.
hey.
Like, you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
Whereas the husband to be's parents, very overbearing, like just
Yeah.
very.
Yeah, it was interesting with
Like the
with
parent,
with
yeah,
the
the
with
role of parents was
the
interesting.
with that episode. Like Tembandaba also, who I have to the dad. Like I love him so much in
Yes,
everything he
put
does.
him in everything.
What
Cannon Bandos.
and baby Clele as well on the side as and I just want to make the point quickly in this anthology is that you have faces that we know,
Mhm.
but as supporting casts.
Yes.
And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the foregrounding of new talent. Let's do that.
Mhm.
But then it then is clear who the actors are. You know what, the people who actually know what they're doing.
That's true.
And who have that experience. So Tembandaba is always so great. This feels like a reprise of his role on The Queen, that crazy uncle. And he's like the dad here, but he's like and he's like such antithesis of like the other side of the family where the mom with it's all about Mrs. Jama, it's all about the Jamas. It's not really so much about the
Like-
daughter or the couple, you know, like so the dad is very clear on the fact that this doesn't feel like you're doing it out of love. It feels like
Yeah.
you're doing it out of status. It feels like you're doing it for the money.
Yeah,
Girl,
which
if you need
very
money,
much-
we have done the things for you.
But-
You don't have to
yeah,
marry
but you find-
for expedience.
But you
don't have to
find
do
very
that.
much that the mom pushes her and pushes that.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, he buys her for her. First of all, we start on her birthday. It's
Yes,
Maya's
the
30th birthday.
It's Maya's 30th.
And
Maya's 30th
he's nowhere
birthday.
to be found.
Yeah.
He's nowhere to be found.
Ancient boyfriend.
And he like doesn't want to put in the work. He doesn't want to have lunch with her parents. He's not really paying attention. He buys her this overly opulent 200,000 rand
it's
necklace.
like buying love.
And it's just like, what is going on? And then you also have the drama with Utumazile, who's working at the house where the dad slept with the helper, and now she's
and now she's
like, having a baby, and then
miscarriage, or
now
she's having a baby.
he has to lie and say that it's his kid, but it's the dad's kid, and like there's that whole. And for me, that storyline did feel like, should we have put this in? Because it felt like they kind of rushed to resolve it.
to resolve
Do you know what I
which
mean?
part?
The one Utumazile being pregnant.
Yes.
And then it's like the dad asking him to lie about it. And then, it's like it was there and then there was drama. And then he was, Ulindi, where the wife was upset. And then she was not upset after 2 seconds. And he's like, oh, buy your car. Like it was just,
the
like there were quite a lot of things that felt rushed.
Sure, yeah.
Um,
I will say, like throughout,
Yeah.
there were points where the story was like hanging.
we're
I
just
think,
like
we're
there was
just,
some plot holes, and we're
we're
just
just, yeah,
like even
plot holes,
the
definitely.
because even at the end of the day one's one, hi bo okay, Uzi at the end where she lies and tells Uspu that the baby's his. I was like, mate,
And
why
I'm
would you do
like,
that?
Why would you do
That's
that?
horrible to do to
And
someone.
then at the end, where she's now on some moral high ground with the actual baby daddy,
Yeah, with
like
Andile,
with
like
Andile. Now Andile's lost his life, and he clearly, because he now
yeah,
lives in,
he
seems
lives
to
in
be
this little
living at
apartment.
apartment 30, whatever.
But then even that, it should have been you. It should,
Yeah, I
and then
was
it
like,
just kind of
since
ends
when
there. I was
now?
like,
Since when? And I
that's
feel
it?
like you
Where's the
definitely
last-
have an hour. Sometimes I felt like, especially also on the first one, you have an hour and yet you have plot holes.
yeah,
You have an hour and you have rushed plot points.
too much story.
Yeah,
it felt like.
there's parts where you have too much exposition, you have too much telling us nonsense that we don't really
Yes.
need.
You're adding another storyline, but then you're not going to
but
close
then
the
you're
loop.
not going
So
to
it's
close
like,
the other storylines. It's like a couple of storylines.
yeah.
And I wanted also to talk about money and love, like
Yes, yes.
that element of like, hey, do we need money? Like, I remember, oh yes, we were actually at the masterclass, Spotify masterclass, where we saw the clip that Bumi put on the screen about her husband saying that, does a man need to have a job or money, like, to be in a relationship? And completely he has to. And I'm like, that's been distorted, though it is rooted in a level of truth. It's
I think it's
distorted
true.
here. It's distorted in this
Okay,
movie.
100%.
Because,
it is
like,
distorted.
it's not the very basis. It's not like,
No, it's
and you
not.
get the sense, especially with the day ones, that we're throwing money around. It's about the status. It's about the money. It's
Yeah.
about, and maybe a lot of marriages, like, they start out that way. They
Yeah.
really do,
But it also felt, I mean, a little bit stereotypical in like, Zanele has the job and she has the house, but she doesn't have a man. And I was like, okay, here we go again. Like, yeah, which, I mean, that does happen, but yeah, like
that does happen
it just
overwhelmingly.
because
But
you
it's not-
found
it's
in
not-
the third one with the runaway bride, and I really enjoy Yonda Thomas, like put him in everything, put him in all the things. He's really great.
Yeah.
But him owning Black Books, a bookshop, and he's fixing the window at the parents' house,
and
and
Dad
like
loves him.
he's not as rich as
Yeah.
old boy, but like
As-
he's
Yeah.
So it was interesting. Also, the family obligation there in that story of like him having to marry his sister-in-law essentially
Yes.
because of Isintu and his brother dying, and like
that practice
that
is
took
so
a
crazy.
left. I was like,
that practice is so crazy for me. Like,
What's
I
happening?
still don't understand why we. And also leaning into, like, it definitely is in a world where we're talking about romance and we'll go into the fourth one, which is a queer storyline, which is supposed to be a departure. But we have here romance in the context of the male gaze. We're like the dad for the day ones for Zandile and Zandile.
Zandile together, Zanele,
Yes. The dad is like in Lalifa. And that's and we're supposed to understand that. We're supposed to understand that this dad is rejecting his firstborn's marriage and the rest of his kids because he wants Indlalifa, and then he gets Indlalifa in this really messy, crazy way.
And he's like, yay, we're at Ushaka Marine World. I was like,
and he's like, Andy is
on?
like, they have this conversation, seemingly about like how life has gone now to shit after this. And he's like, Indoda Aikali again.
You see,
going
even
back
that,
to the toxicity of that.
But also that was just like sprinkled in, and then we just
you
move
know,
on. I was
so
like,
you misunderstand. You misunderstand the
wait.
code and the language of patriarchy, of like, hey, this is how it goes. Like, we needed in Lalifa, and by any means necessary and possible. You know what I mean? And you all misunderstand.
Because Uspu was heartbroken.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
He was,
After that
hey.
messy baby shower. Oh, and he was even like,
You know?
yeah.
And I also
Shame, I
just-
really felt bad for
I
him
felt-
though.
I
Like
felt-
that was horrible.
And I don't
And
feel
to find out
anything
like that,
and
I
to
was
find
like,
out like that.
you,
And it's like, why are you
Mm.
crying? I have such an issue
I don't like that.
with
I don't like that. Don't be a villain.
you
Don't be a villain. And now I must
as
feel
the
sorry.
wrongdoer.
Yes.
And I get it. Some people, you just because you've
Mm-mm.
done something wrong doesn't mean you don't feel bad.
Okay, fair.
Right? But now, not you just crying.
Dude, and honestly,
Khalela and Manj. When you make the decision.
Uzi and Andile, both of them are assholes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both of them are terrible
Absolutely.
people. They're both
to their
terrible
partners.
people
Yes.
to their partners.
Yeah.
Both of them are horrible.
Yeah.
So for her to act like, oh, now she wants to, I was just like, dude, you are the worst to this guy. Because he's right. She could have said, and he even asked, you're pregnant? Is the baby mine? And she said, yes. He clearly gave you an out. Clearly gave you an out. And you lied.
And that moment where she makes that decision with Letu, and Letu's like, I'm gonna be an aunt. And she's like, yeah, no, it's my turn. It's like, what are you rationalizing here? It's my turn to have a family, so I'm just gonna move this puzzle around.
To be chosen,
I'm gonna move
it's
the
my turn
actual
to be...
father and choose this guy to be the father. And it's just, and I love how yes, the boy, the guy, Sipanji, who is like, listen, you broke my heart, hey?
Oh,
amen to that. Like, you must know.
Yes. Like,
you must know you broke my heart.
Hurt me.
You really did
shame.
break my heart. hey. You
Man.
really did break my heart.
Yeah.
And you have to carry that.
That was
because,
tough.
you know?
Yeah.
And I just hated how at the end
And she like
she's
dished
now,
him at the wedding and everything when he brought up kids. Like, she was very chaotic, man.
She was, hey?
Yeah.
And yet she's just this like,
yeah.
she's supposed to be this like, like
I don't know if I bought that the whole way through because I was like, you're kind of a villain.
In the beginning with her friendship with
Yes,
Letu, I was like,
yes.
okay, interesting friend.
But
only
definitely, okay, wait, hold on. So I do want to talk about how Letu is kind of the thread that's in all of them. We probably see her the most as the event planner. So she pops up probably the most as the thread that we're in the same universe. But the time lapse for me is odd because they don't explicitly say. You see that they're in the same universe, but they don't explicitly say timelines.
Yeah,
so for me, it felt kind of jarring to watch it in order and then like
go back.
Where she broke up with him at the end of the first one. Now in the second one, we're at the reunion and they're together. I was like,
we just experienced
what's
this.
happening?
We just experienced the end of this. Why
do you know
are
what I
we
mean?
back
So
here?
they didn't, and then he'd pop up in the third one as well, like dating. Yeah.
I wonder if
so
an anthology
it was
is
quite
like,
because somebody, because it's like. They took the rules of anthology, but then they also broke them in a weird way.
Like, is this a series
and then,
or an anthology
and
or a couple
a friend of
movies?
mine was saying, why didn't they just make it a series?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Because then you could have had a little bit more time to close the loops. And then you could have shown all of them in the same world properly.
Absolutely.
Instead of splitting it in
a
films.
bit more writing there, a bit more sitting down.
Where Andile is like, oh, your Uncle Mzi is going to read you guys a children's story. And then we see Mzi in the next thing, which is fine. But it's just like, sometimes the time lapse was a bit jarring because it was like, are we just ignoring everything that happened in the other one? Or like, I guess we have to because these ones are still together. So we're assuming that all of it is happening at the same time.
Yeah, it's crazy to leave the audience with all that work to do to plot point or to bridge your gaps. It's not fair, you know. And it's interesting because like continuity matters. It matters. Like audiences are not stupid here. Like the one disjuncture that you have, we all notice. We're like, but how are we now here?
Yeah, like didn't believe this.
How are we now here? There were many points where I was like, okay, I'm just trying to figure out, you know, when they're going to, because it's this me carrying the dramatic tension here in my mind. It's like, it's not fair. It's not fair to do that to the audience.
Yeah.
It's not. And you have, and I mean, you know what, like, proudly South African, you know?
100%. I did like the scoring and the music and like, I really like this celebration of South African
Absolutely.
music.
And the acting was great.
Even the performances that they had. And
it was great.
I mean, it's Chicano and karaoke and whatever.
Yeah, and the music and the score.
That was
wonderful.
really wonderful.
And just the use of our dialect language. Love that down.
Yes.
Number 4, the fourth episode. the queer girls or the queer storyline was,
Yes.
so we have a beauty pageant queen,
Beauty
and
school
then we have
dropout. Utogo.
and then we have the writer, the romance novelist.
Oh, Nana.
Yeah, what did you think?
Yes.
And I just actually want to go through all of the chemistry, but there was no real, I don't know, like the story was interesting how it began because what's her name? Was it
So
Lwa
Nana, yeah.
Nani
So Nana, we meet her in the third one as
Yes.
Zweli's best friend, and
Yes,
they
yes, yes. And
also
she
co-own Black Books together. They seem to, and then we find out that she's Liana Ndlovu, who
Yeah.
is like this very popular romance novelist, but she has a pen name. Nobody knows it's her. She's in hiding. They organize a book signing, but she like is terrified. It's
and
like
that's when
a
they
lot of her
meet. That's when they meet
anxiety is
cute.
built into the
Yeah.
story of like she doesn't want to reveal her identity. She's nervous. She's never been kissed. That I found kind of unnecessary, but okay, cool. Like
I mean, yeah, no, I feel
fair,
feel
like
like it's
she's
an
never been kissed.
interesting-
Like there was a level of innocence. Yeah, there was a lot of there was like a level of innocence about her, which I liked. But then that is where she meets Utogo, who is the beauty school. Oh, the former Miss South Africa, who has
Yes.
like a fall from grace because of a bad
Yeah.
interview where she says Miss Kenya slept her way to the Miss Universe
Yeah,
title
yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, so that's kind of how they meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Togo is looking for a ghostwriter because she's now rebranding
Yes.
after her whole
Scandal.
pageant fallout thing.
Mm.
And that's when they meet. And Nana decides to be the ghostwriter, and she's the research assistant, and so that's how their relationship gets going. And it feels to me, I don't know, like I think firstly there wasn't any chemistry. They did feel like friends, and I just want to make this point about like queer femmes. Like if you're a queer femme or if you're queer, I really am so interested in your opinion. Did you feel the chemistry? Is it important to have that sense of balance in queer relationships? Because I definitely feel like you have two straight women here playing gay characters, and we don't know if we don't know their sexualities, but it's just something that you pick up, that there is, like Togo is she's an interesting lead, but yeah, there's just a chemistry and attunement that is missing, that you find with Mai and with Zweli, that you find with Letu and Lucky, that is just not here. And you have Togo as well with her other celebrity relationship.
Oh, Ushef,
Ushef,
Cindy,
yes,
yeah.
and that the idea of like, which is actually quite true. The whole gay for pay, gay for sale thing, like gayness has really become lucrative. So, you have that, and I don't know if that was a publicity stunt. It was positioned as
because
something of a publicity stunt.
it felt very publicity stunty for Ushef Cindy.
Yeah. She
But
was
it
like driving
seemed
that.
like Utogo wanted something more real and more grounded.
Yeah.
But then she also at the same time went along with it knowing what it is. So
Yeah.
I was kind of like,
And it's like,
okay, like fair, I
celebrity
guess.
culture, hey, or
Yes,
just
of
like
like,
striving
okay,
for that.
you
is
guys
so
be in this couple, we'll put you
Yeah.
up in a penthouse and you just have to like vlog. But then you saw, I mean, and I do like the element of like how much people play up their relationships for public consumption in how they would be having a moment and then she'd get the camera out and it's like, now we must record
Gosh,
and
that's
hey,
the
pillow
life people are
fights, now
living,
we're here
guys.
and now it's like content is killing the youth.
It is.
Like, we
hey, it's
cannot
killing
just
everything.
have a moment like this
Yeah,
because you
like
could
intimacy.
you could feel it Vexa that like, oh, we really are connecting, and then
Here we
now you
go.
want to record
Here we
again,
go.
like,
Here we go. You want a hashtag? You want to come through now?
yeah.
And Nana is hurt by that because she did express. Did she
Okay.
express?
Okay.
I don't know.
I have a bone to pick with Nana. So she had some edibles. Happens to the
She
best of us, you know.
did. Ugh,
She got high. She
tons
was
of edibles she had.
dancing on tables,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
at a party,
Yeah.
declaring her love.
She did.
She's singing the song.
Yeah.
She has the instruments,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
And then the next day, everyone takes care of her. Togo asked her about it and she's like, hey, all the stuff
Will
you
you or
said,
don't do?
can we talk about it?
Yes.
And then she completely backpedals. And she's just like, I
Yeah.
didn't mean, I get that she was embarrassed. I get it. But she was completely shut the whole thing down and was like, no, I didn't mean any of it. Let's just forget about it. No. So she did that, which fine. That was your decision, right? But then you cannot turn around and then be mad at Togo for moving on when
Hey,
said,
when you said no.
I didn't mean it. This is
Yeah.
nothing. We're just mates.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that for
Mm.
me was weird because I was like, you can't have it both ways. Like, come on,
Yeah,
you're the one who
yeah.
said.
And I don't know if I felt it from Togo. If I felt the if the feelings were mutual. Were the feelings mutual? There was just no chemistry.
I did feel like it was mutual, but I do get you in that like it didn't feel.
Didn't feel
The chemistry didn't
sexy.
feel palpable and like
Yeah,
sexy.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, I then wonder, like, because I will always say this, and I believe that masculine and feminine energies exist everywhere, and they complement one another. They do exist in queerness as well. Whether we're whether like, so the element of masculinity was not necessarily there. Doesn't always need to be there,
Mhm.
but it's like there was just missing sexiness. There was just missing chemistry. And guys, it is sexy to be queer.
Yeah.
It is nice. It is fun.
Yeah.
It is fun.
It's
Just like it
because
is fun to
it's-
jolla.
Yeah, because I also found it curious that there was the least sex in this one. Like, which I was like, I don't know if this is political
Yeah,
or
there was
not.
just
But I was just like, okay, I get that the only sex scene, I suppose, is between Utogo and Chef Cindy.
yeah,
And they are like, they in it, but they're not really like in it.
Yeah.
And fine, Mai's
Yeah.
never been kissed, so we can't fast forward to like a full blown sex scene. But yeah, I found it interesting also because often it's a lot of gay couples shown on screen and not so much lesbian couples.
Exactly.
So I was
Thank you.
So for me, it felt
Yeah.
new to see two women be intimate. So I was like, okay, we're going there, and then we didn't quite
We didn't.
get
We
there.
didn't get
So
it.
I was like, it's
didn't
weird
touch
because
it.
you went there in the other three with the hetero
Yeah,
couples, but you
yeah,
didn't push
yeah.
as far
Yeah.
in the queer episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that felt kind of
so,
like, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Do we want to rate it quickly?
Yeah. But before we rate it,
Okay, go
the one
ahead.
thing I have to talk about.
Yes.
The narration.
Oh,
We have to. So
Alfie, we came too far. I love Alfie.
I
You're
love
kind of
Alfie
faves.
Seaport. Damn. I love him. Damn. He's a fave. I find him so funny.
But
I felt that the device of having him come into me felt very
Yes.
Shakespearean. Like we're in a play, we're breaking
Yeah.
the fourth
Did we need
wall.
it?
However, I don't think we needed it.
Yeah.
I don't think we
You
needed
think we
it.
didn't need it?
I don't think it worked all the time.
Yeah.
And I think
didn't
in
carry
some
the
ways
story.
it felt, in some ways it could feel heavy-handed in that they made him every second or third scene.
Yeah,
He's
there was
like,
a lot of it,
he's in
hey?
the bus, he's at the restaurant,
He's the taxi
he's the
driver,
neighbor, he's the taxi driver,
Yeah, he's the mum talk.
the janitor, he's the, do you know, like he's peeking out of the,
he's
do you know
all
what I mean?
NPCs, yeah.
So it was quite, like I'm in the story and they would take me out of the story.
Yeah.
So maybe if they top and tailed it,
True.
maybe if it was
True.
voiceover work
Iris, guys.
without
Iris, yeah.
actually seeing him as prominent or like as often, it wouldn't feel, because if we saw him at the beginning and you just heard his voice, you'd know, oh, okay, cool. So I feel like they could have used it more cleanly,
more
and more,
intentionally.
like they could have been more
intentionally,
intentional
yeah.
about how they did it, because I don't know if it worked. I don't know. Because I was like, I love him, but I don't know.
Yeah, there was that. I definitely. I think he came. I think he did a bang
yeah.
up job for himself. I think.
Oh,
I think
100%.
he was
Oh, yes.
absolutely
Yeah.
Alfie, and he
Yes.
really did push to be Alfie. Right? We know him as this like content creator, as this character on social media, as himself as well. He's got a couple of characters as well that he has, and it's this idea as well that you were commenting about, is that influences to actors or influence from social media to TV. How does that go? Because there were moments where I did feel like this is trite. This is contrived. This is as much as you're doing your best and we love you, but this is not natural.
Yeah.
It's not natural.
Yeah.
As much as it was the first time and we tried, and yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it per se because I love him. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. But then
But I don't know if
yeah.
it was like merging with the whole vibe. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it wasn't
Yeah.
intentional. It wasn't intentional. So I hear that. And a lot of the parts, like, he definitely was like the, you know, the fly on the wall, or you know what you're thinking, he'll be saying it. He's that type
Yeah.
of device, I guess, with you know, like whatever opinions, the unpopular opinion that you have, like the comments section, he was that, you know. But yeah, I definitely don't know if we could have done without it, if he wasn't in there at all, would it have made
what
any
it would have
difference?
looked like. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
So let's rate it.
Should
yeah.
we rate it? Yeah, let's go.
Let's absolutely do that. Okay, so stereotypes. Do black women pander to even the slightest stereotypes here?
Yes.
Mhm.
I want to say unequivocally.
They do, hey?
Yeah. It felt in a lot of ways quite on the nose with
Yeah,
that.
like,
because even in the next question of like, is there a strong relationship between women
Yes, is
outside of men?
there?
There was not.
There isn't.
Almost every, because like even when I started paying attention, because first I was just watching, and then I was like, okay, I'm like gonna rewatch some scenes or whatever, and I was like, all of the conversations between women are about men,
Are about men.
about
They
relationships.
are.
Like there's
And
there's,
even
there's,
Letu
there's no...
and what's the friend? Who's the ancient friend? Letu's
Oh,
friend.
yes.
They did that.
That girly. Do you know
That
what I
girly.
mean? Like
And
it's
it
all
was
that it
so
was about.
hectic with that because they worked together.
Yes. but
They
it's like,
worked together.
This was all it's about. And even in the third one with Mai and her bestie Busi, who would just get on her case about like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that.
Don't.
Leave it that man. You
Yes,
see,
you
was a good
know.
man, Savannah. Like, ugh, yuck. She irritated me.
I know, it's like, can you listen to what she's saying?
A lot of the best friends irritated.
Yeah.
Specifically the best friends that were women.
Yeah,
That
absolutely. true,
vexed
hey?
me. I was just like, oh, shut up, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No, that's
So,
very true.
Huge fail on
Absolutely
the Bechdel
huge
test.
fail. It's
Huge fail. Like,
Black Sterring
Yes.
test fail as well, you know?
yeah, like,
Because even I actually feel like when I realized with Letu and her and the bestie, I was like, yo, so you had to really double it up like this. Like it's so salacious. It's so salacious. It's so like it's so tabloid to just like make the friendship so phony. So phony. Like
yes, which
between
definitely
grown
does
women.
happen. Where
Yeah.
it's just like you think people are friends and they're clearly not.
Yeah, there's
because
that
I
as
would argue
well.
that the best friendship in that whole series was Uzweli Nonana.
Yes,
They had the
absolutely.
strongest.
They
I
had
actually
such
believe
nice chemistry.
They had
hey?
great chemistry, even as
Bestie
friends.
chemistry. I
and I
love
felt
that.
like
I
they
love
have each
that.
other's backs.
Yeah.
In the third and fourth
Yeah.
movie, they both had
Honest
each other's
with one
backs.
another.
It was very honest. They
Yes.
held each other accountable.
Yeah.
But it felt like they were it
Yeah.
felt the most genuine. The rest I was like,
The rest
I
wasn't
don't
it, hey?
know.
The rest wasn't
I
it.
don't know. I don't
Bodies?
know.
How are different types of bodies
Body to
represented?
body, I felt-
And I have to say,
Give
there
them an A for bodies.
would you? It's
well,
everybody.
Or rather, yeah, I feel like we saw a lot of different bodies.
Yeah,
a
we
lot
did,
of
we
different skin
did.
tones. We got a lot
Absolutely.
of different people getting to be leads.
Different realities, yeah.
Even in the sex.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
True,
I'm
true, true,
seeing
true,
a
true.
thick thigh.
Yeah,
like my
yeah,
thick thigh.
definitely,
You know what I mean?
definitely.
Like it's
absolutely love it.
I'm seeing
Love it
like
down.
back fat.
Yeah,
and
I'm seeing cellulite.
Like even with the men, like it's not always a six pack and
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
dude who's in the
yeah.
gym. Like
I
it's
mean,
just
there
exactly
was
a normal body.
Lucky's brother running
Yeah,
around,
do you know-
running the chase naked after cheating.
Yeah,
and then
but
she
yeah.
takes him back after that. Like
Yeah, but like we saw different body types
we
with
did,
the men and with the women.
we did, we
which I
definitely
like.
did.
And I mean, even in that vulnerable scene where Mai and Zweli eventually sleep together and they both strip down and like just look at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were quite genuine. The chemistry there
They had the
was
best chemistry
mwah.
out of everybody.
Yeah, they did.
Cleared
Hey.
everybody.
They
Cleared
did.
everybody.
They did.
Because I
'cause
actually
thought-
believed it.
Yeah.
From like him serenading her with his little saxophone and
yeah.
going to look at the art and whatever and like
Yeah.
like I actually believed it.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Yeah.
But I also believed him in How to Ruin Christmas. Like
Good
he's a
actor.
great.
He's
But
really,
but they felt really strong together.
with the bodies, definitely.
Yeah, and with the bodies, with the bodies they did.
Yeah.
Where are the Africans? Everywhere.
Everywhere. They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
But the quiz.
But the quiz are
how
there.
we rating the queer
I mean,
story?
I think
Because Bushle was also a thread. So Bushle was Togo's manager, but then she's also
Yes.
Sizwe's sister. So she was also in
Bushle, you mean? But we don't know if
Bushle.
Bushle is queer. We don't.
Oh, they don't
She
explicitly say that.
We just understand.
Yeah, it's like we
the brand and the personality,
that's
but we
true.
don't
They
know
necessarily
it in there.
explicitly say.
And it was interesting. It's interesting that you
you're
point her out because
right.
it would have been interesting if she was, but she was just.
I thought they were going to give her a
the
story.
queer storyline.
I really did.
That would have been so.
That's what
because
I was like, oh, she's the brother, and
Yeah.
she's like making a case for Sister Mazile, who just had the baby.
Yeah.
So I thought they were gonna use her more than like, oh, she's
And
just a
she is
manager.
fly. She is fly.
Oh, she's
fly.
She's very fly.
You could have.
No, like they really could have.
You know, but they didn't. They didn't.
They didn't. Yeah. So they kept her
decided-
supporting.
Yeah. Wonder why, but
Yeah.
but the
that's
queer.
true. But
the-
you're right. They don't actually explicitly say.
Yeah, they don't. Because I was looking for that. I was like, this is
Oh.
interesting. I know. I wonder if she's going to,
You
if
got
she's
me.
here as a queer woman, because I know her to be a queer woman.
Yes,
I wonder if
yes.
she's acting as a queer woman. No, she wasn't. And I think that's also
Yeah, but
not-
she wasn't. Yeah, because she
it's-
wasn't acting like straight either.
She wasn't. She
Yeah.
wasn't. So she passed
So
it.
I
So
was
you,
just
you can
like,
kind of pick up if you have a
I'm
radar.
assuming.
You can pick up that hey, we have a community member here.
Yes.
But then they didn't put her in the queer storyline that way.
because they didn't show her with anyone either. Hey,
They didn't.
Because she
They
would talk about
didn't.
going on dates, but we wouldn't like see her.
Yeah, not necessarily.
dates.
Yeah.
She just kind of disappeared into
I'm
the background
disappointed
as the
in
manager.
queer storyline.
Yeah,
Even though
could have done more.
they try, but it did feel like throwaway. Also, the fact that it's the 4th episode, just and the sex and the
lack thereof
unintentional
and the lack of chemistry.
Yeah.
So it's like, man,
Man. But hey,
could have done
you know,
more.
they could have done more.
it was
Are
an
you
attempt. And also the point you said about like, is it just straight people? Because Utogo
wonder.
actually, and the actor's name is escaping me, but
Yeah.
I know her from Adulting, actually.
Absolutely, yeah. That's where we know her from.
Yeah,
She was the lead
beautiful.
on Adulting.
Also, hello, she had the best wardrobe out of everybody.
I mean, she did.
Her
She definitely
styling was
Erica.
phenomenal.
Why do you open there? She's gorgeous. Loved
she's
her.
stunning. Yeah, like I absolutely loved her wardrobe, but
Yeah, but and she did bring a little bit of that awareness. Try, but
your voice went so high when you said that. You're like, she put in the
but I was really
greatest.
missing that chemistry. I was looking forward to
Yeah,
it. but
and I do
didn't
have
get
to.
it.
The fringe, Nana's fringe, just vexed me to the ends of the earth. I do have to say,
Oh,
you know how she cut and then
yes. You don't like a fringe?
I like a fringe, but like that
But
was
you,
a
you,
choice.
you must really do something. You must really be special with a fringe. You must, because it's such a
It
distraction.
was like a weird choice. I was like, why did they do this there?
What
Because
do
some
you-
scenes it's there, other scenes it's not. I was like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Anyway, sorry, it just popped up.
What
okay.
are you rating it? What are
Oh
we rating
wait, no,
it?
the
What do
full range
you-
of emotion.
Oh, it's
Did
the
we
full
do that
range
one?
of emotions. Yes. I mean, it was. There was a lot of
Okay,
emotion.
fine. Like we
With
saw them go
Letu.
through the ups and downs.
Letu went through it. Hey, when
Yo.
she found out about her clan,
Nigga, go we sure.
I was like, girl.
but also, wouldn't you, if you found out
listen.
that this man we've been saying,
Oh
mommy,
my
mommy,
God.
mommy,
Oh my-
gave you an
And
STI?
please, I just want to go back to that and say, not her then succumbing to an open relationship. You must never, you must never, Bantwan. You must never, out there, you must
That is
never.
tough to watch.
You must never say, now we'll open
Because
the
it's
relationship
like-
because nigga, you cheating.
Because it's like, it's not just that I'm accepting that you cheated. I'm now
I'm now
allowing you to change the
going to be
parameters
complicit
of
in
this.
it.
And then I'm going to let you
I
be
hated it.
irritating
I
when
hated
I'm
it.
on dates
Yeah.
with other
Yeah.
men.
And she couldn't even do
Ugh.
it. she couldn't even do it. She couldn't even
No.
do it. You can't
I
do
love
it.
him.
Like,
no, she couldn't. She couldn't do
you
it.
know?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she went through it. Zanele also
Yes, Zanella also went through
went through
the
it,
roller
but she deserves to
coaster.
go through the bad stuff because she really was a villain. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she
like,
was a villain. She
shame.
was.
Even Uma. Yeah, we saw
Mai as
her being
well.
the runaway bride. Also,
Yes.
I did like the twist with that and how like you thought she was gonna run away, but then they did say their vows, and then she only ran away before they
yeah,
signed.
yeah. She was,
I was like,
is this
okay,
where
you
we're
made that a little
signing?
different.
Yeah.
But even the end of that was rushed. It's like they just run into the getaway car and then it's over. I was like,
yeah, I know.
for all of them, I was like, hello? Where's the last scene? Like, what?
We're missing the last
Just left me
scene.
hanging.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
what? Are they deleted scenes somewhere? God, I miss deleted scenes. Bring
Many
back
deleted
physical media.
scenes.
But like,
hey,
yeah, because you see the deleted scene in the movie or like the alternative ending or whatever.
dude,
But I was like, wait, what?
you guys didn't.
Now it's the
bother
credits.
to
I was
shoot
like,
one. You didn't bother to
just like that. Okay. I guess.
Guys, Mina,
No, I guess.
am yeah.
Okay,
I
so-
am gonna give you
Oh man.
a
Okay, wait. So just to go
Yes.
through it all again.
yes.
Mashed potato,
Yes,
it's bad.
it's bad. It's
It's
yeah. It's yeah.
it's not
it.
good. It's not good.
Yeah.
Smashed potatoes,
Smashed potatoes
with
is what's
some
really
redemption.
bad with some good redemption, and then
and
mash
then
is
roast potatoes is good, but put in the
but put
work.
it in the
and then
work.
fries is intersectional,
Yes,
black excellence. Which great attempt, but this is not that. So
Yeah.
I am gonna say
Mm.
I'm giving it mashed potatoes.
Are you giving it mashed potatoes?
I'm
Woof.
sorry. It was bad with redemption. And
Oof.
and it's tough to say that because
No, it's not actually. It's the
I always
reality.
advocate for bring more black things that are average,
Yeah.
bring black content
The
that's
good
bad.
The good bad.
But
stuff.
good
This
bad,
was
we're
good
telling
bad,
a story. I don't even know if
You don't-
I can
you
say it's
wouldn't put
good
it
bad.
under good
Number
bad?
3 is good bad.
Mm,
One
true,
for me was
true.
kind of just bad.
Yeah.
2, so it's like I'm entertained kind of,
Yeah.
but there were a lot of holes for me. There were too many
Lots of
holes. The continuity was
Holes,
weird.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was good to have it. It's important to have it
Yeah,
as part of the
mashed potatoes,
conversation. And like, yes, we're starting to
Absolutely.
tell nuanced stories about South
Yeah.
African dating experience and love and culture and relationships, but they could have done a lot better. It needed more tight. They needed to tighten up too many things for me to even give it a roast and say,
Right? It's like
Yeah,
a hallowed roast,
Eish.
guys. A roast potato must be respected.
yeah,
And
it
it
must,
must be respected
need
when
a-
it comes to the plate.
yeah,
Yeah, I hear
yeah.
you. I definitely
That's
hear
me,
you, you know,
yeah.
because it was also like, for me, you have so much leeway. You have an hour. Why do we still have holes? Why do we still have flat characters? Why do we still have missing plot points? Why?
Yeah.
Why? And why do we still have like underdeveloped storylines? Right.
It's
And you know,
almost
like
you
you
should
were
have pushed
saying
for
as
the
well,
extra
it's
30
like
minutes.
let
then.
me not be in the highbrow portion of the audience. Let me be in the good bad part of the audience. Hey,
Yeah.
even then, hey,
I
even then, like
Yeah.
it was missing. It was missing a lot. It was missing a lot. But I will commend them for speaking to relationships
Yeah.
in a semi-honest way. There was a lot of like mainstream romance themes,
and
but it was
tropes that
tropes,
they, that they
you know,
played
that
into
I'm just like
100%.
"Ugh."
Yeah.
But it was interesting
Yeah.
to see to bring the cheating conversation online,
Yeah.
even though we really did not empower women at all. And empower is is such a word. But you know, we really did not I don't think we really
Yes.
did so much
Oh,
strengthening of female characters.
that's tea. Because
Yeah.
you're right. It didn't feel like
Yeah.
again, I have
Yeah.
to shout out the third one.
Yeah.
but in the others, it didn't feel like the woman came out on top.
Yeah. I mean, Letu tried.
She
Letu
tried.
tried.
Yeah, shame. Okay, fine.
After
Like,
taking
but
a
it's-
couple
she
billion
took
L's.
so many punches in the face
Yeesh.
to get there. You know,
With this guy, with this
man.
lucky character. You know, and I
And the
just
name
hate.
felt ironic. I was like,
You
hey,
know,
lucky.
unlucky you go. Unlucky you go. I would like you. But yeah, I
Hey.
mean, yeah,
Yeah,
the female quotient not winning with that, guys. The lenses you need to know. You need to do better with women, with female characters, with the female story,
Yeah.
femme storyline everywhere. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it still feels like quite a male
And-
gaze here.
And give us a good and fun. Ironically enough, it was written and directed by women. Yeah, who worked on The Wife, which, you know, do with that what you will. But
I mean, not roll my eyes all the way back.
yeah, like give us a good
Come on,
gay lesbian love story.
Yes. Even a straight one. Give us a
Even a
powerful
straight-
woman.
Like give us
Give us
a
a
woman.
powerful woman.
Like I wanna, like, you know,
Yeah.
and like we can say the dating pool has pee in it, but like, come on.
Is it pee or is it water? Where are
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like just
yeah.
I need somebody to go there.
Yeah.
And I can say this about like
also do.
romance and romantic comedies across the board, even in the States, even in the UK. Like
Absolutely.
we are tricking. You can
Yeah.
see that it's
Yeah.
tough all around.
And I mean, I
Because you
guess
can't even see it on screen.
Yeah.
Like we're not even seeing good stuff on like it's
I guess this is pandering to a
man.
mainstream audience. And that's the problem with pandering, is that you can never reach everyone, bruh. You can never reach
Yeah.
everyone, no matter how much
and
you
you
try.
shouldn't try
You
to
shouldn't
reach
try
everyone,
to.
actually.
You shouldn't try to.
Specificity is
You
great.
should try to speak to people. You should use specificity.
One more time. The bundles are finished.
Specificity is wonderful. You know,
Yes.
specificity is like the richness we
Yes.
strive.
Yes.
Like it's memorable. It's classic.
It's classic because
know?
the one thing, and I will say, because I know I just kind of shat on romance as a genre, which does
Which
need,
I love,
which does
guys.
need a
It's a
revival.
powerful
I'm a forever
genre.
fan.
It's a powerful
But
genre.
I actually just saw the new Bridget Jones
Yes,
Diary.
I saw that.
And that was actually excellent. That was actually
I
really
saw the
good.
trailer. Yeah,
It was really good.
Ah.
So I'm like, okay, we're kind of back. So people still can. And again, to your point about specificity, it's still Bridget Jones. She's still journaling. She's still a hot mess
Mm.
that we made 20 years ago. Like it's not. Bridget is
Yeah.
still going through. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
it's
Because Bridget will always go.
Bridget will always go through. Do you know what I mean?
Bridget is a going.
She's fumbling.
the goer
She's awkward,
character.
She's wearing her mini skirts. She's showing her
You know?
ass sometimes, literally. Do you know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's still the Bridget we know and love. It's just like
Yeah.
now the kid's in the mix. Now she's a widower,
Yes.
like which was actually
Yeah.
quite sad. But
Yeah.
again, to the point of specificity, like that's a very specific story
Yeah. It is.
of like a woman who was a spinster
yeah.
forever, and now you know.
And I wonder,
so
is it like
we
getting,
need that again?
Yeah, we
like let's just
need-
get back into we don't have to be every woman in the storytelling.
Yeah.
Sometimes
and I think
you can
it's
just
definitely like let's try to get like more women, more, or let's offer the platform to a lot more people in the
Yeah.
writing room. Hey,
Please.
please, you know,
Please.
like the idea of like pandering to an audience or fitting budget constraints, because it's always about them, and this is why I hate the media, because it's really about the money. You know, it's like then we don't get to. You have this huge platform. We've watched it. You know,
You made
and we're here
4 of
talking.
them.
You made 4 of them.
You made 4
you know,
of them.
like.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, mashed
But
potatoes.
yeah. Okay. That's your rating.
It is a mashed potato
Okay,
for me
fair.
and as well, hey,
Yeah.
because I was thinking of giving roast, because that would be an empathy roast. It would be an
Not a
empathy,
pity
like
roast.
a pity roast. It would be, hey, you know. And I'm not even saying I you know, I really am not a hater. I'm not a hater at all. You know, because we watched it. Like I spent time
like, we
watching this,
watched
and we're
it.
talking about it right now. You know,
Yes.
and it's important themes. Like when you're speaking to romance, you're actually speaking to everybody, you know. So I feel like it is somebody's duty in there to just like be a little bit more intentional, you know, like
Yeah.
so
And for me, I think show us that love lives somewhere.
And
Do you know what I
with
mean?
that,
And make us believe it.
with
Because romance is still exists. It's still around.
baby, hello, I
So put that on screen.
believe in romance, baby.
I still believe in
Oh,
that.
come on.
I
hey.
would like to see it.
Yeah, I would like to see it. I would like
would.
to see it. Yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
with that,
So with those words from the great Monique.
yeah, absolutely. Like romance exists,
Yeah.
and we can do better. We can do it.
We should.
We
Let's
can
have
do
more.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
That's
guys.
us. Follow the Black Sterring everywhere. Tell us what you thought of
Yes.
Umjolo also. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. And guys,
did you love it? Did you
I
hate
can't
it?
believe we're speaking about this at the end, but we are top 5
Hey!
top 5 on the internet
Hey-o.
podcasts that speak to movies and TV.
Yes.
Guys, we're really doing well. Hey, top 5. Hey,
Snap.
shout out
Look
to
at
us.
us.
We will tell you
Yes.
about that again. We will bring that back to your attention again. Top
Yes.
5 Black Sterling Radio.
Celebrate
okay?
all the wins and go be romantic and a lover
It's
boy, a lover
still-
girl
it's
to
still
some bold.
February. You know?
Yeah, and even when it's not.
Yeah,
Just,
absolutely. Especially this month, you at least have everyone, rooting for you. Like the
Yeah.
forces are out, like do it.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
They're like Sterring.